Well, good morning, everyone at Arc Alexandra. It is lovely to be with you again. For those who don't know me, my name is Matthew, and I am the minister of St Matthew's Church in Silver Hill near Astor, and St Ethelburga's Church, which is at the bottom of Filsham Road. I hope you are well and having a good term. And I'm filming this on Friday before the next release of the lockdown on Monday. And I hope you are also looking forward to that and some more release of some of the restrictions that we've been under for so many months. Your school have given me a Bible verse today, which is from the New Testament part of the Bible, talking about unity and diversity in the church. And so I'm going to take that as my theme. I'm going to talk about some of the issues concerning that we might want to think about. I'm going to think about what it might mean with this Bible verse, and then think through what it might mean for you as a school. And I want to just pose some questions. So, unity and diversity. The motto on the seal for the United States says this. He says it in Latin: E pluribus unum, out of many, one. A reminder of the United States is all the different states coming together to form one country. There is this sense that in some areas we can do more together than we can on our own. This question of unity and diversity came up in a recent training course that I attended. And in that training course we were told that research has shown that some of the most dynamic and most successful organisations are those with high levels of diversity. The logic seems to be this, that if you have people from lots of different backgrounds, with different perspectives, with different gifts, working on a project, you are more likely to get a better, more dynamic outcome because you've got more ideas in the room. Research also said that you can also fail, though, by overstressing unity or overstressing diversity. So I said if you overstress the unity, essentially you don't allow for much diversity, then the creative thinking gets lost, new ideas get lost, people being themselves gets lost. If you overstress diversity, so everyone slightly does their own thing, notwithstanding a common aim, you also lose your sense of purpose because everyone's doing their own thing rather than focusing on what is needed. So they said in this training session that what we want to aim for is organisations where there is a clear aim and objective and unity in what we're trying to achieve, while celebrating and having diversity. Now, this idea of unity and diversity is one that's very familiar to the Christian faith. You may be well aware that the Christian understanding is that the Bible teaches that God is one God in three persons: Father, Spirit, Son. So right at the heart of our understanding of God himself is that we have one God made up of three persons, all of whom are fully God. There is a perfection of unity and diversity. And yet, whilst God might be like that, the church has struggled throughout its whole history to be able to maintain that balance of unity and diversity. My first job after I was ordained was in North London. I was a curate in a church in South Tottenham in the N15 postcode, which research has shown to be one of the most diverse postcodes in Europe. And I loved being part of a vibrant, diverse community. But it did cause challenges for us as a church, maintaining our unity when people who came were often very different from each other. And we had to work hard to do it. But what I learned while I was there is that sadly we as a country, as a community, and certainly as a church, have far too often failed to get that balance right. I remember chatting to a number of the elderly members of the congregation, many of whom came over to this country as part of the Windrush generation from the Caribbean. And they were very honest with me about the prejudice they experienced and the discrimination that occurred when they first arrived. In the community, and tragically in the church too. It made me want to work harder and harder to make sure that everyone is welcome. Because the Bible's clear, the good news of Jesus is for everybody. And with that in mind, I want to turn to our Bible verse. It is from Galatians chapter 3. And it's a verse in which the Apostle Paul, an early church reader, writes to a church in Galatia where they were falling out with each other, it seems, where division was occurring. They shouldn't have. And so he writes this: "So, in Christ Jesus, you are all children of God through faith. For all of you who were baptized into Christ have clothed yourselves with Christ." This first point he makes is you have unity in all that Jesus has done for you. You are part of his family. You have been forgiven by him, and you've all had the same sign of that belonging, baptism. You are united. Therefore, this is the second verse, there is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, nor is there male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. In other words, don't fall out with those differences, but remember that you equally all share in everything Jesus has done for you. And therefore you are all one in Jesus Christ. The Apostle's telling the church, maintain your unity in Jesus, in your diversity. If that's the message for the church, well, what is the message for you as a school? How can you as a school maintain a unity while celebrating your diversity? The ask question is, what is your unity in? Is it in your school values of faith, excellence and kindness? Or is it in our British values of democracy, rule of law, respect, tolerance and individual liberty? How do we unite in those things whilst at the same time respecting and celebrating our differences? And so I leave you to ponder. Where do you need to work harder? Maintaining unity, coming together with what you agree on, or celebrating diversity, making sure that everyone feels included, whoever they are, wherever they're from, that they can feel part of your community. Because if you can do both those things, then the whole school will flourish. And that will be to the good of everyone.